Hello and welcome, JK Plus One. I am not your host, PTF. I don't know what PTF's doing. Let's see. Well, he called me yesterday. What did he say? He's talking about Derby next year already. That's out of control. I am your host, Jonathan Kinchin, and we are back with another episode, another video episode. Hopefully, you got to check out Dale Romans. You got a horse trainer running for Senate. Can't be a bad thing. I want to thank our friends at QATAR Racing for supporting this podcast. I want to thank Sheikh Fahad in particular. Once again, it's never too far away to congratulate QATAR Racing for She's So Spicy's very impressive win in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. QATAR Racing, they got their hands all over that Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Caravel winning it a few years ago. Let's get into it. This is a person that a lot of people know, person that is new to our game. We're grateful to have in our game, and someone that I've been wanting to hang out with, talk to, chat with, and finally got a chance to do so on his way to Japan to go to the Japan Cup. My friend, your friend, Griffin Johnson. Griffin, what's going on?
What's up? We finally got on the pod together.
I know it's I've been wanting to do it, but it felt like at the beginning you were just getting worn out, and so I was like, I don't want to bother him at the beginning. It's like, and plus, like, you were on a bunch of other stuff, so it's like, well, I'll just wait. I'll wait till later. It gets a little bit further down the line, and we'll hook up. This is kind of fun for me though too, because a lot of the times, the people that I have on here, it's either people I know in racing or people that I know a lot about in racing, is just like a fan and a bettor and stuff. And so it's fun to have an opportunity sometimes just like get to hang out and talk with someone that I really don't know that well or know that much about outside of the big picture things that are you. So this will be fun.
Yeah, you feel free to ask me. I know there's even sometimes I forget actually, like whenever you're in the game, you kind of forget about some of the things that maybe other people want to know or what they're interested about. So feel free to tear it apart. I feel like this last couple weeks since Breeders' Cup has been a lot of winding down and gave me some time to reflect. So there's a lot to talk about.
So was this your I'm trying to think, Sam, was this your first Breeders' Cup or second?
This is my second. So I went
Okay.
last year. Obviously, things were a lot different back then. It sounds like or at least it feels like it's been forever. It really hasn't. But yeah, this was number two. I went the year before. I also went to Saratoga and Derby. So two Derbies, two Saratoga experiences, two Breeders' Cups.
So it's early, but it's fair to ask now because people always ask. It's like a fun racing question. People like to ask is what's your favorite racetrack? But so as of right now, and I cheat the answer to give. I say, well, three things. If it's a Wednesday and the weather's nice, then give me Santa Anita on a Wednesday just so I can hang out,
Okay.
have some beers, feel the view. If it's a Saturday and it's Grade 1 racing, Saratoga 1000%. And like a Sunday afternoon when it's kind of cold outside, Keeneland. So like those are my three
Okay.
answers. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually good. If I had to cheat my answer a little bit too, I would say I'm going with Saratoga. I mean, I'm new, so there might be something out there that could change, but as far as I'm concerned, this summer in Saratoga, 11 out of 10. It was perfect. So, any big grade 1 weekend on a Saturday, like you said, I'm going Saratoga. I think if I'm gonna hit up like a random Friday and I'm just gonna go somewhere like you said for Santa Anita, like I'm going for just vibes, I'm going to Keeneland. Just because it's my crowd, I feel like, like a lot of people my age. So I'm gonna go with Keeneland, and I think overall just beauty, it's still Del Mar. I mean,
Yeah.
Del Mar is just like that track is insane. The location of it and just driving down the coast to get to the track. I mean, it was beautiful.
So I'm pretty familiar. I'm friendly with Dan Torgman and ABR. I've done stuff with them. And so I'm pretty familiar with the program. What was it called? What the guy?
America's best.
Yeah, yeah. What was this the thing with the
Oh, oh,
star?
oh. A stake in stardom. A stake in
There you go,
stardom.
Steak and Stardom. So obviously I don't think anyone questions your absolute pure love for it now. It's like the most genuine thing ever, and no one can question it. When you first got brought into that, was it just like an opportunity for you to kind of do a gig and then it just happened to fall in love, or was there already kind of some simmering love for it and then that kind of put you over the top?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I mean, when I first came into it, my initial interest was from being raised in the Midwest, right? Always heard about Kentucky Derby, knew about thoroughbreds. So I had some ideas of, where and some dreams of where I wanted to go if I did come in on a horse. Like I knew the opportunities. Now, it was more of just let's try this out, right? Because I had no idea what I was getting into. Obviously, West Point, they couldn't guarantee that Sandman was going to be a fantastic horse. So whenever it came across, I saw it as kind of a gamble. I was like, this could is most likely going to make me $0, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to travel around and just kind of figure it out and see what happens. And so that was my whole thought. Really, was let's take a gamble. Obviously, that played out pretty well, and I think it fits. It's pretty fitting for the horse world to take a gamble. But yeah, that was it. There was no mastermind to the start of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just seeing a lot of the stuff you've done, a lot of the content has been like super genuine. You can it's because it's funny. Like I think a lot of times when you see influencers or celebrities or whatever kind of get brought in, you can tell the ones that are like there for the check and like it's all good. Like do your thing. I'm not hating. Like I've actually never been annoyed by that because I think that just think of like random celebrity person, whoever it might be, like shows up and comes to this thing. I think when their followers who think they're really cool are doing something, then they start thinking, "Oh, my follow. I mean, they're doing this really cool thing. Like, I want to check it out." So I've never been like, I don't care if they're just coming to get a check, but it was different. It felt different with you, and it feels different with you still because, like, I mean, I feel like every time I look up, like you're at something. It's not even like the most glamorous things too, like in the mornings or at the sales or whatever. It feels like you're a lifer.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I mean, that's my goal now. So, as far as, before I got into horse racing, it was all content, content, content. I was years into it at this point, and had some business stuff I was doing. But like now, everything that I'm building, I'm hiring teams and everything around how do we dive further into racing. I mean, my goal is, for kids, especially my age, whenever they're turning on sports or they're betting on sports, that horse racing is starting to come up in those conversations, and eventually, like it's going to be a part of our culture. That's what I'm here for. So, to your point, I try to show up as much as I can because it's just as much important to get the new crowd as it is to have the horsemen. Uh, because having that respect not only is good for my mental health, but it also just is nice to have those people whenever I'm trying to promote things or get people to come behind, come to the backside or whatever. To have those relationships and that respect is, I mean, it's invaluable to have that.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to explain this to someone. I was doing, I don't remember what I was doing, but I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were like, "What's like the happiest place on earth for you? Like, you close your eyes and like tell me where like is the happiest moment you could genuinely think of." And this was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I thought it's uh it's on a Saturday morning in Saratoga, with hoodie weather in the morning, but not in the afternoon. Hoodie weather in the morning with my wife, my son on a golf cart driving around the backside. Like that was quite literally the happiest place I could think of on earth. And it seems like you enjoy the mornings as well.
Oh, if the only thing that I could add, I don't have a wife and kids, but the only thing I would add to that is like 2 or 3 days out from a big grade one. Like
Yeah.
if you just put that up in there and like you just stack it in, it's just like like I just remember going to the mornings and you're videoing their workouts, or they're a week out, and you're videoing them in the mornings, and all you hear is the birds chirping and the sun's rising up over the track. I mean, come on. It really is. And then people don't even like on the backside, you can go back and forth from the barns, you can go get food, you can mingle with everyone. Like that Saratoga morning, just backstretch work is like, it's just perfect. You couldn't
Yeah,
ask
it's
for
awesome.
anything better.
You're getting a pretty good crash course, I would say. Like, with obviously with having Sandman with a Hall of Famer like Mark Cassie, but then also your relationship with the Romans and being around Dale, and I'm sure Jake's giving you a pretty good betting tutorial as well. But I think it's exciting because you're still at that point where, like, I remember being at the point where there was still a whole lot more to digest and learn. Like, not that I feel like I mean, I've been around it long enough, and you spend every day in Saratoga for 5 years, and you bet almost every week for 20 years. Like, you start to kind of run out of things that are like new to you. I'm envious because I still feel like you have some opportunities to still like learn new cool shit, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the whole thing is really the learning curve and me showing it off. I mean, I mess up all the time, don't get me wrong. Like the terms and the words and just everything that goes into racing, I mess it up every week. I'll get someone texting me like, "Hey, you said this wrong," or "Hey," it's part of it, but they're definitely. I don't know. Like even whenever I guess run out of things to learn, I guess in America, I plan on going and traveling as much as I can. I'm going to Japan. I leave actually. This is the last thing I'm doing before I catch my flight out. So I'm
Oh
gonna go
wow.
to the Japan Cup this year, and I'm going to Dubai in March. So like, I'm trying to figure out on a global level too. Like, I want to know how other countries are doing racing. So I'm excited about that. Have you gone to any other countries?
No. I was gonna say a cheeky answer, but it's not that cheeky. I did go to I was trying to think, like, have I been to a racetrack outside of the country? I went to Woodbine. That doesn't count. It's American. It's like North American racing. And then I actually did go to a racetrack in Mexico City one time and
What
like
was it
tried to
like?
handy. Um, I, it's actually not as like it's not as grimy like in terms of like there we have grimier racetracks right in America. Like I've been to like I'm not kind of throw anyone under the bus. I'll throw someone on the bus. Who could I throw under the bus? No, I can't throw anyone. I've been to some grimy racetracks here. The racetrack wasn't that grimy. The racing felt a little grimier than I would have liked. I think it's hard to go from looking at like a horse like Fierceness or Sandman or whatever walk by, and then you go down there and they got some like $500 claimer. But I never have. So I started to go to Royal Ascot. I was gonna go. I had told myself I'll only go to Royal Ascot if I have a friend who has a horse in. I just felt like it'll be a better experience. I think you have a reason to be there. You're not just kind of like wandering around getting wasted in the car park, which I'm not opposed to. But in the year that I had a friend with a horse in that actually had a chance was 3 weeks after my wedding in Italy. So it's like I was there, and then to come home and then go back again 2 weeks later, it just didn't check out. And then of course my friend won with a horse called
Oh
Crimson.
no.
Crimson, yeah, Crimson Advocate for George Weaver won one of those 2-year-old
Oh,
races, and so I missed it. But I want to go there. I've always wanted to go to Dubai. I want to go to Australia, and Hong
ooh.
Kong is like very high on the list of. I've heard it's insane. So to answer your question, no, I haven't really been anywhere outside of Mexico City.
No, I mean, look, it's I'm kind of like crazy like that though. I'm one of those weird guys that is perfectly fine with just packing up a suitcase and 2 days notice flying to Japan. uh, so that's kind of like I guess my thing that I've always done is I've always kind of tried to figure out how to I'm really intrigued in Japan. So you said China. I'm like huge on Japan. I want to figure out I think that Japan's culture for racing like, have you seen their race days and the people that show up and they got like the horse stuffed animals on their backpacks and like, dude, it's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's. So I think Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is pretty cool. And if you already know this, I'm not like trying to tell you.
No,
I'm just
no, go for it.
So Hong Kong's pretty cool because racing is huge there. They only race 2 days a week in the entire country. They race on Wednesdays at a place called Sha Tin that's like right in the middle of Hong Kong. It's like you've probably seen it before. It's like a racetrack and buildings everywhere. and then they run at Happy Valley on Sundays. So they only run 2 days a week,
Wow.
and they
2
handle
days.
more than we in those 2 days. They handle more betting wise than we do on all of our races combined. Like from Santa Anita to Saratoga to Del Mar to Keeneland, they handle more than just those two places. And I've had friends who have like lived there, been there, and I heard that like it's insane every night. Like every night is like the Derby. Like there's people everywhere, and it's a huge party, and there's bands, and like the races. It's like so. I've always wanted to do that. I've heard it's really cool, but I would imagine Japan's probably not too far off, and especially the way they've really kind of thrust themselves into to thoroughbred racing.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've been picking up some stallions too. They're. I'm excited to see what happens with that. Yeah, it's just been uh, overall out of all the experiences of horse racing, I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I feel like that might be the most unique one yet.
So what kind of flyer are you? Are you gonna go to sleep?
Oh, I thought you meant like first class. I'm like first class of Japan. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the back, but I'm gonna be chilling in the back. uh, so I guess my answer to that is hopefully I'll be sleeping. I usually try to sleep like if I get on a plane. I'm more of a sleep the whole way through kind of guy. Luckily,
Yeah.
so I'll probably be snooze, pop a little NyQuil, and hop in the back. Hopefully, I get someone nice next to me, and we'll call it a day.
Man, you couldn't
14
even.
hours.
Oh my, you're an insane person. I could not sit. I would have to. I don't have like first class is different, but I would have to at least get like premium economy or something. I can't sleep in an airplane sitting up. I can't do it.
I'll get there by any means. Strap me to the top.
Oh man, how long are you gonna be there for?
So I'm gonna go 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks total. And I'm going. Do you watch tennis?
No, but I enough.
So I'm going with my friend Taylor Fritz. Uh, he's playing in Japan, or he was just playing there, and then we're gonna go together. So I'm trying to get him to show up there too, and try to get a little cross promotion, a little tennis horse cross promotion.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah. Have you been to Japan before?
No, so it's funny. I talk about how I love to travel, but like growing up, I never left the country ever, and I didn't even get a passport until like after COVID. So I've only left the country once.
Really?
Yeah, one time. That's
Where'd you
it.
go?
I went to Malta, which is like have you heard of Malta? It's like a little
Yeah.
yeah, just right outside of Italy.
Wow, that's a so I've gotten to do some international travel, and like the one thing though is most of the places I go, um, it they aren't as culturally as different as like a Japan would be. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you go to London, like everybody speaks English, and Italy everyone speaks English. Like I'm sure in Japan they probably do too, because we're the only ones that don't really speak other languages.
Yeah,
But
we're the uncultured ones.
yeah, exactly. But that's fun, man. That's exciting. 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, which I was gonna ask you. This is a switch of pace, but it reminded me earlier you were talking like one thing that I haven't really got into, and it's no secret. I don't try to hide it. Is betting, and I put in bets. I know like I've learned how to read a program over the year. Like I can do some of the stuff. I'm not an avid gambler yet. I'm not an avid handicapper by any means, but I want to know like what is people tell me all the time that you need to just come to the track and like see what a day in the life of a bettor is like. But like, what's a degenerate's day like? Like, if you walked into one of those grimy tracks that you're talking about, what does that day look like? The prep, the start, the finish, the whole thing. Like, can you give me an idea?
Yeah, it's funny. So that's a good question. There's a lot of different levels to it, right?
Okay.
So a lot of times, like, well, first of all, it's funny. Like, I think that like horse players in general, the word degenerate, we like it. We actually can like embrace it. Like, it's like
Yeah.
we understand that like we will get up at 6 in the morning, look at a form, and like go watch and go bet on horses running in a circle like that. It's fine. We're good with it. But there's like I said, there's different levels to it. So like if let's just say that like me and my buddies are going to go to it's winter, we're in some we're in some random town for a wedding on a Saturday, but like on Friday, we don't got anything to do. So we're going to go to their local racetrack. And it's like, it's not Keeneland, it's not Del Mar, it's Turfway or whatever. You know what I mean? And then like we go there. For me in that situation, like I'm not betting a lot. Like I'm probably betting more than like the average person because I trust myself enough to know that I can at least probably do okay. But I'll go to Turfway. I'll get the form on my computer. I'll be drinking, having beers, carrying on, betting pick fives, bet a couple doubles here and there,
Okay.
maybe bet a horse to win, and just kind of have the action of the day be part of what I'm doing. Right. That's one way I can do it. I don't typically get like a Saturday Saratoga anymore to just like fully turn up the entire day because I usually have to work for a little while, so that can kind of throw me off. If I was doing a big Saratoga Saturday, like Travers Day or whatever, to me, this is one of those days where like, you go to the bank, you take out some amount of money that they're like, are you sure? And like ask for a second ID. And they're like, yeah. And they're like, and then they say, well, they try to ask you a question. What are you doing today? I'm going to the racetrack. And then they look at you concerned, like, oh, well, sir, are you sure you want to take this much money to the racetrack? And then, so that's the amount of money, right? You can picture that amount of money. And then you just go and, I'll probably try to catch a coffee shop in the morning to kind of get a better idea of what I'm doing, handicap, go through the races, map out some tickets, map out some attacks where I think I have an opinion, strong opinion, blah, blah, blah. And then when I get to the racetrack, I just want to hang out and have fun. So like I've already done all the work, and now it's just kind of putting into action what I already decided I was going to do that day. That's kind of the secondary level. And then the big one for me is like the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, which is like my Super Bowl every year. I start working when there's pre-entries like a week out. I will go through every horse and try to like write a sentence, and like just word it, at least a sentence. And that's just to get because in all of the downtime between then and when the final entries come out, if I'm sitting on a subway and I'm thinking about the Juvenile Turf Sprint, I want to have a base to start formulating some thoughts and feelings and ideas of what could happen. And then I'm just like basically going through and handicapping every race like it's the last race I'll ever handicap. And then it's just ticket construction, coming up with an attack and a firing plan. And that one's good. That's got a much more serious vibe to it where, because at some point, I mean, this year's Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, there was a point where I bet $25,000 in one situation. So like, and there's been times before where I've bet 80,000 in one time or 40,000 in one time. So it's just a different preparation. So that's kind of the long answer of the three different ways to do it. It just depends on how you're doing it.
Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, which by the way, I mean, I don't know how it is. I guess we kind of talked about it in the horse world. It's cool, but like being a degenerate for Gen Z, like that word is like, it's almost a flex. Like for sports betting and fantasy football and all this stuff, like for Gen Z, if they're like, oh yeah, you're a degenerate, that means that you know how to bet. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of like that's kind of the term. So like when people tell me in horse racing, I get it. I haven't done it yet, which I plan on going. Like you said, I kind of want to go to a random track one morning and just absolutely pick option two. Man, well, maybe option one. We're not going to a
Yeah.
bunch of money. So option one. I'm trying to go in on option one.
Well, the fun thing is like as you get deeper involved, you're gonna learn a lot. Like I'm sure you learned a lot that you didn't even know you learned with Sandman, right? Which is that Sandman is a extremely talented horse who has a style that is a little bit dependent on what others in the race do in order for him to show his best performance. And so now that you know that, that's a thing that you could be at Turfway and see a race where there's a closer that's really good, but there's no pace in the race. Suddenly you've got this good idea to find this horse that's going to get loose on the lead. And now you are a handicapper and you didn't even know it. It's because you're learning lessons as you go through. And you'll figure those things out along the way. And then you'll get more, like to me, I've never, like betting scared is like not a good thing. Like
Yeah, you
like
lose every time.
yeah, or like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna kind of just do this. Like once you'll know when you get comfortable enough and you'll start kind of firing away a little bit more. You'll develop, or you'll fall in love with one of your own horses, and that'll be your first. I mean, because funny enough, my first big score I ever had. Now I can look back at it and know it was all about how much I just loved this horse. I developed this love for this horse, so it allowed me to cash when the horse won at 40-1. I think if I know what I knew now and I went back to that point, I'm not sure I would have done what I did that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Um,
get it.
like, yeah, I fell in love with her. She was a filly that ran in a boys maiden race, which like I
Oh,
thought that was a big deal back then, but like it's Philly. I mean, it is, but it's not. So I kind of fell in love with her. And then my friend went to Tulane and she ran at fairgrounds, and we went to her like stakes race and she won. Then she got beat in the Kentucky Oaks, and she came back in the Acorn, and she was 40-1, and she won. And it triggered a pick four that day for me that was $84,000.
oh yeah. So
And at the time I was a high school football coach in Texas, and my salary was like $60,000, and I made 84,000 at the track. So it was
yeah.
all
So
downhill from
after
there.
that's your entry story. Like after that, that's
Pretty close. Yeah, that was pretty close to the turning point. So it's like that was it then. Um, and funny enough, the less to your point is like you learn a lot of lessons and you get better when you start doing it more. You're never going to just start off being really good at it, but you'll pick up along the way.
oh, I suck. Like I suck. Like I know horse. There's some races I do well in, and I put some bets that I've known some of the horses, but overall, like man, I get chicken out. That's my problem. I'll have like a bet that I want to make, and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, $500. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't treat it like money. You got to know you're going to part ways with it. What? So, but it sounds like you're gambling on the game in other ways with your involvement in it. So,
hmm
run everyone through where you are right now in terms of ownership and like, did you do any of the yearling sales? Where are you at in terms of what Griffin Johnson has?
Yeah, so got Sandman coming back as a 4-year-old, so that's going to be fun. I think Mark just put out something about Oaklawn, so that's going to be fun. We have Ewing, who's a 2-year-old. He is going to Oaklawn as well, I believe is what Mark is planning on. We have Curtain Call, who's also a 2-year-old, and it looks like he's going to go try the turf. I think Mark said that. So he ran in the Hopeful and the Champagne, didn't run as well, and then he's going to try out the grass, I think. So there's him. And then my first, like, I guess, really big ownership piece is the filly we got, the yearling filly by Flightline out of Salty as Can Be that we got at the Book One of Keeneland sale this year. So she's in Ocala. She's training away. Hopefully she'll be a runner, and we're going to have a good time with her. So that's my four that I'm in right now. I think that it's always going to be subject to change and to be adding more as the years go on. So that's really my plan. I hope to every year at least have a couple horses running. And that's mostly, I guess, through West Point or I guess all through West Point, and that's where I plan on really doing it. So hopefully this year some of those runners can pan out.
That's awesome. Have you found or any funny stories about like any of your followers following getting involved in with West Point?
So I don't think there's, as far as like a kid jumping in, I think everyone knows there hasn't been a bunch of kids jumping in throwing 20, 15, 20 grand at horses. But what I have seen is there's been a lot of owners that were already in or adults that have kids that have been begging their parents. There's been a few sports team owners I know that have come in because their daughter loves my videos and they love Sandman and they were kind of on the border. Like, there's been a lot of partners double or triple down because now their coworkers or their family members or relatives know that they're in, and they kind of It's just like an ego or like a for fun thing. Like people know what they're doing, so they get excited. So that's kind of been like the ripple so far is a lot of doubling down or entries from older people with kids.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if I necessarily have like a funny one, but I think the most interesting story so far about getting people involved is we just had I did a charity event at Breeders' Cup, and I guess at the end we all agreed on it. I didn't think it was going to do anything, but there was a lunch for me that sold for 5 grand, and I never thought in a million years a lunch with me would ever sell for that. So that's the highlight of my life. I think it was mostly just so they wanted it to meet Sandman. I think that's really what it was. But
yeah, yeah.
that's the highlight of my horse career so far.
Yeah, that's the humble way to do it. So I would imagine it's funny because like I always tell people like when I'm on TV all the time or whatever. I always tell people like it doesn't. I'm only like really famous with like 70-year-old white dudes in Saratoga or in Lexington, Kentucky. Like no one else. Like I don't ever get like recognized by anyone else. That's it. Only in certain towns and whatever. Um, how will you? How far does your reach go? Like, will you get recognized in Japan?
Yeah, like realistically, so Japan and China are kind of hard because obviously they limit their servers as to, other countries and what can come in. But there is still a lot of people in Japan and China, that travel back and forth from the States or whatever. So anyone that kind of like gets that multicultural kind of, you know, uh, experience, I guess, there will be people that know me. But like, I mean, it's at this point, it's pretty much everywhere. Like any big country you can think of, like I have fans in Russia, Australia, China, Brazil, Argentina. Like you go through the list of like my following, there's people everywhere. And I guess with other countries too, like when they see, I guess, an American that has notoriety of any point, they kind of like, even the people that weren't fans, they just like kind of gravitate. So before you know it, you have like one person recognize you and it creates like a whole chain.
Yeah,
Um, so that's usually what happens, right? You start off with like a family or something's easy, and they're like,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh!" And then all the people see it in the pictures, and then before you know it, you're in for it. So, um, yeah,
Do
but
you
there's
ever
been
get? Do you ever get? Do you ever get? This doesn't happen to me. I've seen it happen to other people. Do you ever get where one person comes up and takes a picture, and then someone else comes up and says, who are you?"
all the
Like
time, yeah,
they
all
just
the
want
time.
to make
Well,
sure. Like,
in horse racing especially because like yeah they'll see a kid come up to me like at Keeneland for instance, like this lady comes up to me and she's like, I don't know who you are but I feel like I should get a picture with you. So I definitely get that, especially in horse world, because it'll be like the kid knows me, the mom doesn't, and she'll be like, take a picture with mom. So yeah,
so funny.
that's
One of
usually.
my I've seen one of my good friends is Rashard Lewis, who played in the NBA for a bunch of
Oh
years,
yeah.
and but Rashard is he's not like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant famous. Unless you're a basketball fan, then you know exactly who he is. But like, if you're just kind of like you don't really know. But he's also like a 6'10" black dude. So like a lot of times people would come up to him and say they would come up to him and say, who are you? And Rashard would always tell him that he played goalie for the U.S. national team. And the way people would look at him, they'd be like, "Oh, that makes sense because you're like so big. Wow." And he's like, "Yeah, I play goalie for the U.S. national team." And then they would take a picture, and I could only imagine them going home and like showing it to someone and be like, "I met this goalie for the."
Yeah, and they're like,
Um,
wait, what? That's for sure.
yeah. That's funny, man. That's funny. All right, man. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got to get on this flight. You should call the airline and see if maybe they have a seat you could get upgraded to. I think you deserve it.
Just like, hey guys, look, I was thinking about it. I might need to sleep. Jonathan was telling me I might need to sleep on the way there. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
Oh man.
work it out. I'll let you know. I'll take a
Tell
picture from my seat.
I mean, just tell him you'll post a video or something. I mean, doesn't that work? Hey, I'll post a video.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I think I don't even know what airline I'm flying, actually. I'll just tag them and post a picture.
Yeah, no. So seriously, I wish. I know you're not going to because it's because no one's. I wish you would tweet. I can't believe I'm sitting in the back at so and so airlines and see what happens.
You just see what if they usually the airlines will reply. They usually
Yeah,
will
no, of
reply.
course.
They're kind of at the
Uh,
mercy of customer service nowadays.
yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Have fun. It's good talking to you. We'll do it
Yep.
again soon. I'll see you soon as well.
Okay, thank you very much.